And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let Me Just Say podcast. I'm your host, Ray. With me as always, we have Father.
What's up?
We have Dion.
Good evening.
We have Crystal.
Hola.
And we have D Wolf.
Yo, what up?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Great.
Pretty good. Excited.
Tired from work.
That's good to hear. So, I guess we can get started. I guess we can get started. I don't know about y'all, but I know cicadas are out, but I don't really be seeing as much of them as I did when I was younger, when they used to like fly in people's faces. Like, have y'all been seeing them cicadas around? Have y'all been being bugged by them?
Man,
I
had
one.
one. I had one stuck in my leg earlier today as I was getting on the bus to go to work.
Oh no!
Wow.
Those are aggressive bugs. I don't even know why they exist.
Not really. They're just
Blind.
okay. Yeah, for one, they're blind. They get around purely by sound. They're the bats of the bug world, basically.
Echolocation.
Bats can actually see.
Barely.
But
Their primary like thing for getting around is echolocation though. They don't use their eyes like that.
Yep. It's sonar.
Okay.
Play with this.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. I guess around the summer, I think the government and anybody that's been trying to get PPP loans, they have been scam, and people been doing the PPP loan scams. They've been trying to go ahead and arrest a couple of people. So, how do y'all feel about them coming after people that's been doing the PPP loan scams?
I guess I'll start. I mean, I heard about the whole PPP thing, but honestly, who cares? Like, who cares that people are scamming? If the government was adequate enough to give people what they needed in the first place, nobody would be scamming. Am I wrong?
See, I don't even know what the PP whatever loans are to begin with.
It's basically long. It's like for people with small businesses and all that other stuff to keep their business line. It's basically they loan them the money to keep their business afloat during the pandemic. The thing was, a lot of people, they was having LLCs, didn't really have businesses, so they was just using it, and a lot of people was trying to flip that money, and then a couple of people was scamming other people, and like. Let's just say a lot of people was flaunting on Instagram and all that other stuff when they was doing the PPP loan scams, and that's why they're getting caught.
Stupid ass niggas.
So I would say the people that are flaunting it deserves what they get.
I'm saying.
Yeah. But outside of that, I mean, with the truth coming out about the pandemic anyway, I'm like, they get what the government gets what they deserve. Like, they can do what they want with that money. I have no sympathy at all for the government or anything like that because this was all bullshit anyway. So I ain't mad at them at all. This is our money that went into the virus anyway.
The government scams people on a day-to-day basis any fucking way.
Exactly. So, but if they want to flaunt it, well, now you're asking for trouble. But nah. Do what you want with that money.
The government. Y'all know the government. Anything they ask for, they want it back. They don't care how you by hook or by crook. They want to get their money back. So
That's because they're inadequate at keeping it in the first place.
Which is true. But
that's
definitely
why I never really
get it back.
I mean, that's why I never really understood people who shame other people for like getting loans or that are in like financial troubles. Like that's the entire point of being in America. You are going to be broke one way or another. Even millionaires get broke.
Yep. Isn't that why you filed for bankruptcy?
A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people file for bankruptcy just to like protect their assets. That way,
Mhm.
you know, people don't take their shit.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like a bankruptcy can only protect you for so long. So
Right.
So they would
Yeah, I know 50
consider.
Cent did it. Go ahead, Crystal.
Sorry, they would consider it's fraudulent because the people that are using the money from the PPP loans is using it for, I guess, like mansions, yachts, and whatever have you. So my thing is, if you're going to go after people for utilizing the money not for businesses, you can't do it half-assed. You have to actually go after people who let condemned buildings that should be condemned and shut down in communities that are not so fortunate to be wealthy. And they just let it sit there while people collect money off of the IRS. If you're going to go after people for the PPP loans, you have to go out. You have to go after everyone. It's not fair just to go after people because they're trying to build a business. I think the reason why it's such a big deal is because these people during a pandemic utilize the funds that are made for them and you know created for them and utilizing it to their full advantage. And they don't want that. I think that this whole thing, and this is where I go conspiracy theorist type of way, but I just feel like it
Might
was
be
to
lost.
really damage the people who are middle class when it comes to businesses. So of course they're going to go after people who are just trying to make a way out for themselves and their family.
The way I see, like I said before, it's our money they use anyway. So we basically got our money back and chose what we wanted to do with it. So whoever uses it is basically their money because we paid for the pandemic anyway. So they're gonna have to admit that shit if they go hard.
I mean, they butchered the COVID response in the first place, so it's fair game.
Yep.
I always said this: if you're gonna do something wrong, do it right. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Why, but it's funny because my teacher told my high school teacher told me that if you're gonna do something wrong, do it right.
Mhm.
Like,
Hey,
the one thing I
that
don't
is useful advice.
yeah. It's
my favorite saying is something my uncle used to say to me. It's only illegal if you get caught.
Mhm.
My pastor said that too.
Because isn't that what happened to it could be, I know it happened to someone else, but I think it happened to Wesley Snipes. Didn't he say it on the radio or something? And that's how he got caught for evading taxes.
Tax evasion?
Did he mention it? Yeah. Didn't he mention it or something? And that's how he
I
got
thought
caught?
that was the
Because he didn't
Isley
keep it
brother.
quiet.
I thought that was the
There are
Isley
several
brother. I know because
people.
all of them got caught for tax evasion. I know Wesley
Yeah.
Snipes made a joke about it in
Yeah, that's
one
what
of
it was.
the what's it? What was that movie with all them action hero movies and they was just all shooting shit?
Expendables.
Oh, yeah. When he came back for part 3, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I was in jail for tax evasion, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. Every time somebody mentions it on the radio and stuff like that, they get caught. They should just keep quiet because taxation is theft anyway. So, but just keep it
What's
quiet
worse
while they're
is
still
that-
looking for you.
Yeah, what's worse is that I see people on Instagram or even on YouTube when they make rap videos and like they got all this money and they're telling people verbatim how they got this money through PPP loan scams and shit, and it's just like y'all do realize that the cops watches these things, right?
Uh-huh.
They have a whole division for that shit, like a cyber division watching that.
So like it makes me think this, like, have our criminals gotten dumber, or is just that people just want to stunt so hard?
They've
It's
gotten
both.
dumber, right?
It's both.
It's both. Because I was watching American Gangster, and I was like, the only reason he got, Frank Lucas even got caught because his wife got him that big ass fur coat in the boxing ring, and then but other than that, he was never like the flashy type. But it seems like they get one lick, and like they want to flash it to other people. It's just like it's so much money you could have been made if you don't shut the fuck up. This is
Nah, but here's the thing, right?
I
You
always
live in a
tell people,
country
if I
that's
ever get
hyper
rich, I want to
individualistic.
know.
You live in a country that's hyper individualistic, so niggas are gonna fucking flaunt. They're gonna do shit that's gonna, put them out there because this is a hyper individualistic society. The very same shit that makes the United States what it is the very same thing that destroys it. That's why criminals are so dumb.
If I ever get rich, no one's gonna fucking know.
No one's gonna know.
See, the thing is, somebody is going to know.
The only person who's going to know is this woman sitting on my left here. And that's only because I'm gonna look at her and say, pack your shit, we out this bitch. Don't ask questions, just pack your shit.
Nah, I'm asking questions. Where'd you get this money, yo?
I'm gonna be like,
and then my response to that question will be, nah, if I tell you that, I'm gonna have to kill you. Man,
Wait till we get there.
Just gave yourself away, Dion.
But see, that's the thing. She won't know whether or not I'm joking. Maybe I'm joking and I'm not.
God.
She won't know.
It's
Bro, I watch enough movies to know that if someone says that means they did something illegal.
That nigga stole. You a stealing ass nigga. You from New York too. I know you.
First, look,
I'm not going to deny the fact that I've stolen some shit before, but
there we go. Thank you.
Look, if anybody asks, just go with the Timmy Turner response. Internet. Yeah. Every time he says that, no one bats an eye. It's just where all this stuff come from. Internet.
And that's why Ray doesn't get caught. Good job, Ray.
Hey, look. I know a couple of shiesty people not in my family, but distant family or some of friends that I looked at them and just like, nah, I would never rob a bank with you. It's just,
yo, you really contemplating.
You don't know. Me and Father says, and this is a joke, but we done said this. If all else fails, we're selling crack.
Wow.
And you said that
Wow.
Hey, man. Hey.
Why would
they make that quick? They're making that legal everywhere now.
That's all I'm saying.
They're making that legal everywhere now. You got to do that quick.
I was about to say, shoot, drugs are legal now. So I'm gonna be selling weed. I might not even have to sell crack. Hey, I'm gonna steal some hair weaves and then sell them bundles. I got that 22-inch Brazilian wavy.
Well,
so you just okay? They call that boosting, but okay.
Hot girl summer. Hey, it's hot girl summer.
I'm done.
I'm gonna sell vibrators. Wow. Killing selling vibrators.
Let's change it.
I know where the money is. Any last words before we move on to our next?
That's where the money is. There we go.
Go where the money is.
Vibrators, though.
At least you don't need them.
Yeah.
At least you don't need
all the
PPP
OnlyFans
loan for that.
The rise in OnlyFans and all that. Yep. Make a killing.
Oh. You know what, D Wolf? That's a great transition because
Don't give him any ideas.
No. Because the next topic, I don't know if any of y'all watches Twitch, but Twitch is now have a whole section of hot tub streamers now since that stuff gotten popular for some reason.
I looked it up. I didn't know what that was.
An app where usually people play games and now.
I have a Twitch account.
Girls out there with the hot tub stream. And they're very profitable, but I know a lot of people have problems with it. So I was just wondering where any of y'all stand with that.
It's no even know some broad with an OnlyFans. What?
No, but my thing is, I don't know why people got so mad at it. Why the fuck? You knew this type of shit was gonna happen. Well, you see the kind of demographic they cater to. They gonna pay for
a computer.
We gotta identify who exactly is getting angry.
The simps.
Yep. That was my next question.
All I'm saying is if I can't get no girls and there's a girl in a hot tub stream and she's reacting to my every message, bruh, she's getting all my money.
Yeah, I think they're competing, right? I think they're competing with stuff like OnlyFans and stuff. Yeah.
It's a market. Don't hate the players, hate the game.
Literally.
You know, and all these girls, these hot tubs, and all these OnlyFans. You better get mad at the niggas paying for it, man. That's
My
all I'm
thing
saying.
as a
Go ahead,
woman,
Crystal.
I would never take bread out of another woman's mouth, meaning that if she's making money, I'm not going to sit there and complain. She's making money, she's paying her bills, she's doing what she has to do. And I think the people complaining is people who are jealous of these women getting money in a different way on a Twitch account, and women that are probably jealous of another woman and didn't think or is not brave enough to do what they're doing. To each his own. But I just think that the people complaining, it's based off of ego, pride, and jealousy.
Like everything else in this fucking world.
Yep, that part.
Yeah, but at the same time, like if you in a position where you can do it,
Seriously, who's on the
not
computer?
doing it, then that's on you. That ain't on her. She can't be held liable for your fucking insecurities.
Right.
I don't even see what the big deal is because they're already with a lot of the female Twitch streamers. They're already doing that shit half naked anyway. So what's the big deal if they? What's there to hate? You should have been hating years ago. Exactly. You should have hated years ago because I was watching this guy. I watched Eric July, and he's talking about straight up when they're on the normally when you stream on a computer you're all in front of the camera, right? The female Twitch streamers will actually put themselves at a distance from the computer, take the keyboard with them to play the game. So you're seeing their full body and whatever costume they're wearing, skimpy as hell, and they've been doing that forever. So if they open up a new category for like hot tub and stuff like what's the big deal? There's nothing new, just a setting. So why you bitching now?
Nah, cause that's bullshit, bro. Why the fuck they get all this money? I'm over here struggling with my 11-hour stream and my 2 viewers. I don't get shit.
They gotta step it up.
She showed her little some titty meat, and now I'm competing.
They gotta step it up. Not only that, a lot of them do both. I realize a lot of them do both OnlyFans and Twitch streams anyway.
That's bullshit.
Nah, I'm telling you, I could give you some names right now.
I don't want no names. I want my money.
All these gamer girls, they do the same thing. They alternate between Twitch, OnlyFans, YouTube, all of that. They get an income any way they can.
From what I'm hearing from a lot of people that do complain, because it's not even the fact that they're doing it. Mm-hmm. It's more or less that, let's say, male streamer, they do something like they follow within the guidelines for some reason they get a strike on theirs, and it's just like, or they say a bad word and like they say swear or something like that, and they'll get a strike on theirs or they get flagged. And then they go, well, I can't do this and this and this. Whether this person done show their damn pussy on them, and they don't get nothing, which is in hindsight, it does kind of make sense because. Mm-hmm. He's like, we all know sex sells. So it's just that I don't think there's a lot of fairness that's going on, because I think some of the top streamers of Twitch are women, right? If I'm correct. Maybe you have your ninjas.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you would have you have your ninjas or YouTube.
It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
But most some of the more popular Twitch streamers, I believe they're women. Like what's the name? Pokimane, and I'm not like demeaning none of them. Like Pokimane, Amaref, and all them and stuff. It's just like, I think it's another thing where it's just like, I feel like a lot of people feel like they have quality content where other people, they just like, you just sit there and show your tits. So it's just it's a mixed bag.
Tits are quality content, damn it.
What?
What?
So, complain about somebody showing their titties. Titties are quality content. Shit.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Oh my God.
Not all of them.
True. Unless they're like deflated and saggy. Then there's some tits I've seen. It was like put them up. I'm not gonna lie. And
I mean, like I've been saying, like like even and this is regard to OnlyFans too. It's the new strip club. It's like if they wouldn't be doing this, they would probably be in the strip club. You know, get paying for lap dances and stuff, which I don't have a problem with because I used to go to strip clubs all the time. But I think you just kind of like see the evolution from them being just like tits, what people will call them tit streamers, to now they're just in damn hot tub pools and all that other stuff, and then people just giving them money to be pretty. So,
I mean, but it wouldn't be. See, I don't know. I'm kind of like indifferent about it because you know you don't see the girl I went out with those times.
Yeah.
So like I understand because she's just making her money and that's it. I don't really see why there's an issue, but hey, undesirables be like.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. I said don't blame the streamer, blame the consumer. That's how I've always been. Like the people want it. It's like it wouldn't be like I said if there wasn't money in this, they wouldn't be doing it. But you know, people just giving you money just to be pretty.
And you want to know what
Just
else
like
is so?
Go ahead.
Real quick, you want to know what else is so funny? Most of the people that be like supporting them be women too.
True. And which I've also seen in the strip club. It's like sometimes I'm being
they advertise each other.
Just don't they do advertise. And now the funny thing about that, they also be like jealous of each other too. Some of them they'll real cutthroat, especially when they feel like it's stealing their views. I've seen that too.
I mean, that's just how that works, though. Oh yeah, they'll boost like their friends or whatever, but if it's a bitch they don't like, oh no, shut her down.
Damn.
That's just how it is.
All right. Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Titties.
Sex sells, everybody. Just remember
Step
that.
your shit up.
Yeah, step your shit up. This one is really. I just found this out, and I kind of like wanted to bring to you. This was from the Guardian. California launches largest U.S. COVID vaccine lottery yet with $1.5 million prize. California has become the latest state to offer a vaccine lottery to incentivize getting the corona vaccine, launching the nation's most valuable single prize of $1.5 million. The state governor's Gavin Newsom announced on Thursday that residents will be eligible for a total of $116.5 million in prize money, giveaways, and windfall aimed at getting millions or more vaccinated before the nation's most populous state fully opens next month. So they're trying to open it by the 15th of June, which is like a day after my birthday. So would y'all, how do y'all feel about this?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be quiet.
I know why you laughing. Oh my God, this is insane. Should I go first?
Go ahead, go first.
Oh, okay. So clearly there's something going on, right? Remember who's behind this. This is Fauci and this is Bill Gates. These are the faces of this, not only the virus, but the vaccine as well. And remember, Fauci is the one that caused the big scare when the AIDS pandemic came out. He's the one that was giving people all this false information and having us, running like chickens with their heads cut off and all that, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have Gates, who, this guy is not even allowed in certain African countries because of his experimental vaccines. Now, let's keep that in mind. The regular vaccine, let's say the flu vaccine, every year there's a range between 80 and 200 deaths per year from the vaccine. Now, since this one came out, which I don't really call back, I call it an experiment because that's what it is. From December when they rolled it out up to, let's say, about now, it's been 4,000. So it's not even a year yet. And remember, 80, between 80 and 200 per year for a regular vaccine that's been approved 3 years in the making, which is usually the standard, and FDA approved. And now we're dealing with an experiment that took, how many months has it been? 6? months, and we have 4,000 casualties from this thing. And now they're advertising it like they're trying to incentivize you for taking an experiment.
Population control.
Let's not forget. Yeah, exactly. And that's their agenda. They've already admitted, especially specifically Bill Gates. He's admitted it in TED Talks and all that. So there's no saying this is not a conspiracy theory. This is a conspiracy. He said it and he's implementing it. And he's done it in African countries, even in India, where he's no longer allowed. Okay. So I'm like, so I don't know. I don't know how people are just letting this slide. Nobody's there's no outrage over this, that they're actively like, I understand the people who need it.
Bill Gates should be in prison somewhere, but
what?
You
exactly. At this point, he needs to be like, no, let me not say what I have, but oh my God. And to make it worse, kids die from the flu at higher rates than this thing. They're more safe from this than anything else that's hit us. Yet they're the ones trapped in glasses in each desk in school and forced to wear a mask or had to stay home for majority of the whole last year for something that doesn't kill them as easily as the flu does, and there's no precautions for that at all. And these are facts. These aren't theories. These are statistics. These are facts. And people don't know because they watch, legacy news. So, yeah. So it's funny that they're advertising it, is incentivizing it with money and junk food. Think of the irony in that, junk food. So you get a free vaccine, free food if you provide proof you got the vaccine. Really, I would like to have seen that when SARS hit, or the swine flu. I would have liked to see that, but no. And those were worse. But okay, okay, yeah. Whoever's doing this needs to be in jail for real. California needs to be in jail for even offering money to take an experiment. That's
California
insane.
should have been in jail 100 years ago.
It should have sank. It should have sank. It's overdue for sinking. It's overdue. All those earthquakes.
There's a reason that motherfucker keep catching fire. But anyway.
Yeah, right? Oh, I already know that, but I'm not saying that here. That's too far in the rabbit hole to say why they keep getting earthquakes. But yeah, I've experienced several of those. I lived there for 8 years.
Wildfires. It hasn't even really been earthquakes for Cali over recent years. It's been the wildfires.
Well, there's one. The last one was it 2019 or 18? The big one was on Independence Day, because I remember I experienced every earthquake there for 9 years straight. So, but yeah,
Side note, what's that like? Because the one earthquake we had over here in the East Coast, I didn't feel it.
I was there for that.
I was mad I didn't feel it.
2011, right?
That's what
So
she
what was
said.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for that. That felt worse.
You was there for that?
The last one in I think it was 2019. Yeah, 2019, summer 2019, on Independence Day. That was the biggest one I felt in Cali, because I was in my car and I was on the road and the whole car moved. That I thought the car was fucking up, but everything was shaking. That was the biggest one. But yeah, the one in New York was kind of big, and it didn't even hit New York. It trickled from where did it start again?
I was in Norfolk when it happened, so Norfolk, Virginia.
That 2011 one y'all talking about, I was in North Carolina at the time. And
I don't know if it's because I was on the top floor. That's why I felt it the most. But yeah, that was pretty big.
The funny thing is, like, half of the people, I was on a boat when this happened. So, like, I come back from doing a job and, like, my supervisor's like, "Did you feel that?" And I was like, "Feel what?" He's like, "There was an earthquake." It's like, I didn't feel a thing. And then, like, half the people were just, like, scared. Half of the people was just excited. I'm sitting there like, I don't know what's going on. It's like, and I was mad. I kind of missed it. I went home, though. My stuff was on the floor. So I was like, okay. Earthquake really did happen. Wow. But it was just... I was just mad. So I was like...
Yeah, several of them woke me up in the middle of the night.
That's scary. I don't want to go through that.
It was pretty lit though.
It's weird. It's a weird feeling, yo. It's a weird feeling, yo. It's kind of because it's like you kind of feel it before it happens. Now you understand why animals like disappear before it happens because they feel it before. It's kind of like that. Like you know something's wrong, and then you feel the rumble. Yeah, it's a funny feeling you get.
I always look at animals and old people when they say their knees be rumbling or something like that. It's like the storms are coming. It's just like,
See now when you describe it the way you describe it, you get this funny feeling. Then you feel the rumble. It sounds like you sound like that feeling you get in your stomach before you take a shit.
I didn't know you was gonna say that, Dion.
No filter.
Yeah, for people to understand, it's kind of like that. Yeah, for some perspective, yep. You know, you get to that toilet.
You feel that little bit of pressure in your stomach, and then then it's that fart that's not quite a fart.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, why is it burning inside?
What am I hearing?
Before you even fart, there's a burning sensation.
Hello,
everybody. That's our Dion. But back to the topic. I think this is a very weird way. I guess you're just trying to bribe people to take the vaccine because a lot of people still don't trust it. Obviously, and then I guess you're trying to convince them with money.
Like the more you know about the situation, the more you're like, okay, this is a setup.
Yeah, the funny thing is, a lot of people know it's a setup, but it's just like, but they do want to go outside, so it's just like, damn. This is one of the weird spots where I feel like everybody knows it's a setup, but it's like there's only one way to go, and you have to go through it.
It's what they call it, a catch-22.
Yeah, a catch-22. It's like I know it's a setup, but yeah. And sooner or later, they're going to make everyone take the vaccine where it's going to be mandatory. I know it's not mandatory now, but I know in due time, it's like they're going to make everyone take it. And then a lot of people just, a lot of people just don't want to take it. It's like you can't blame them. So
over my dead body.
Yeah, you
tell
really
you that right
can't
now.
blame them. You really can't. And I've been trying to tell people this, like, oh, people don't want to get the vaccine because they stubborn. And I'm like, no, they're not stubborn.
No, they want freedom. They want the freedom.
It's not that, but like, imagine if a government tried to put some foreign substance in your body and you can't say no. That's where it gets tricky.
And they have.
Especially with people that look like us.
Right.
Oh, yeah. This push hard on us. Why do you think they put our faces in all the commercials and all that? I just saw the Target commercial.
They've been experimenting.
And it's a black dude walking up.
How long now?
Son.
Look,
that's why people are mad at Spike Lee.
I just have one word.
Go ahead.
Syphilis. Do we understand how we even understood how syphilis works?
Yeah, and the news try to make us silly for bringing that up.
No, I'm just asking because the government was in charge of that project too. And it's a lot of families based off generations that's still suffering from the Tuskegee study. If I'm saying it wrong, forgive me, but
Tuskegee.
Yeah. Just know that based off of just that history alone, why the hell would I sit down, get a vaccination that's not even really tested or FDA approved, okay? Just to hear 10 years later, hey, on a commercial, if you have been injected with this vaccine, you might be liable for compensation. No, I don't want to go through that 10 years from now.
Yeah. Because, I think I don't remember the amount of years, but after an amount of time, the government has to release, certain, they have to declassify stuff. And there was a point where Obama had to go on an apology tour for the things they did. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So who's to say that, everybody takes it now, then years along the line, whoever the president is, years along the line, who declassifies it has to go on their own apology tour about today's vaccine. I don't trust it. No. And I already know about what's in it. It's the fact that it's not FDA approved and that redhead, what's the spokeswoman, what do you call her again? Anyway, Jen Psaki. She in our faces said the vaccine is FDA approved. In our faces, on camera, live, in front of reporters and everybody. Nobody raised an eyebrow. And it's not. It's not. And if you go on, let's say I said it wasn't, I put it on Facebook saying, no, that's a lie. Look what the CDC says and all that stuff. It's not approved. It's an emergency allowance. It's not approved. So which means it's by definition an experiment. You can't say that to people and then have people jab themselves thinking it's okay, but nobody held her to it. Nobody put her feet to the fire at all. And they just let it slide, and yet they still want to push people, our people, in front of the camera. I remember this one lady said she don't care what's in it. I think she was, who was she next to? Cuomo? She was in front of somebody. And she was just saying, I don't care what's in it, blah, blah. And she was dancing and stuff like that. Now saying, I don't care what's in it. I'm going to get this vaccine because I want to live. I'm like, do you not remember your history?
No, she doesn't.
Oh, my God.
The irony of saying you don't care what's in it, but they're talking about you want to live.
Well, it's either that or she's paid bank, son. She's paid bank. And she was some overweight chick, too. It's not even to say it was somebody healthy they put up. It was like a middle-aged woman, out of shape, out of breath, jumping up and down, saying, I'm getting all excited. She got paid. It's either that, she's either stupid or a liar.
There's things I want to say, but nah, I'm not even going to.
When has that ever stopped you? Hello?
I was about to say, when has that ever stopped you, Dion?
All your dumbass wrestling opinions. Why are you stopping now?
Go on, Dion. What you got to say?
You got lemons, Dion?
I wish I would have knew that.
Grew a conscience? What?
What's a conscience?
See?
Wow.
Is that a Pokemon I don't know about or something?
Yeah,
it's one of those new ones, like the 450th, I think.
Look, I just don't feel comfortable with the government even, making this like a lottery ticket type of thing. If that's not red flags, I don't know what is.
Mm-hmm.
But that just proves who their target demographic is for their population control.
Yes.
That's just, I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, like I said, remember who's pushing it. Remember whose face is behind it, who's saying to get it, the same Bill Gates. And they're putting black people on the TV screen, every commercial that's promoting it, every whoever's in office who's of color, they're the ones talking about it. They're the ones pushing it. If it's somebody off the street, it's a black person doing it. That's what they're doing. This is no, there are no coincidences here. And the facts are out. That's the worst part. The facts are out on this stuff, and people are still, believing it and taking the chance. I'm like, I don't care. I'd rather die than live under tyranny like that. All right. No, I'm good. I'm good. You're gonna have to shoot me.
That's how they
lock me up.
In them needles.
Any last word before we move on to our next topic?
This shit is fucking with a lot of people's minds, and they know it is, and they still allow it anyway. So they're not genuine when it comes to all that. We'll give you a free burger and little stupid shit like that, like free iPhone. You get the fuck up out of my face with that.
Oh, you know what I want to say? I think just like a lot of things, I think the reason why people aren't saying anything about it is shame. Because they were pushing it so hard, and they're like, when it first came out, they were, posting pictures of themselves getting it and stuff like that. And now that information's coming out now about it, they can't say shit. They will not admit, oh my God, I made a mistake. It's not happening. They're too much in their shame. They're so prideful in pushing it and believing in it. So now they're in denial, and it's too much shame to admit, oh my, this is wrong. And they see it's wrong, they know it's wrong, but they will never admit it. That's what I believe is the reason why a lot of people are still, saying, all right, I'll just take it, whatever. Or you should take it, or just shut up about it altogether after talking pushing it in the beginning.
That's a lot. Okay. So our next topic is kind of staying on this. President Joe Biden. This is from I think NBC News. NBC News. President Joe Biden decides to announce an anticipated 90-day review into the origins of the coronavirus pandemic about the part because of the Chinese government refusal participates in an investigation by the World Health Organization. A source familiar with the decision told to NBC News. Biden released a statement Wednesday asking the intelligence community to redouble its efforts to get to the bottom origins of COVID-19 after news reports raised questions about whether it spread from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. Now, I can already hear the groans in some of your voices, but
Yeah.
I do got to ask, what do y'all think about him trying to find the origins of this?
Oh Lord.
Okay. Who wants to go first? Yeah.
I'll go first. So
Okay.
he wants to investigate the origins of the coronavirus because he feels like China's, withholding information or whatever. Well, first of all, that's not a secret. Everybody knows China was withholding information. That's why that dude that discovered it in the first place.
When the virus first kicked off, China trying to pin that shit on black people. What the?
Yes, they did, and they kicked them out of their country.
I was just the stupidity.
As I was saying, they got the dude that noticed it in the first place was telling the Chinese government, "Hey, there's virus though." But then they was like, "Yeah, whatever." Then he died from it. So ever since then, there has been efforts by the Chinese government to withhold as much information as possible. But when it came to things like developing vaccines and putting up the numbers for how many people were affected in their cases, now a lot of that information is also kind of sketchy too. But no one really wants to say anything because China is a powerhouse when it comes to the media. If you say something bad about China, they can get you out the cut.
And Hollywood.
And Hollywood as well. So I find it very funny, right, that they want to investigate this thing when for the very longest time we've had information about it. If you remember, Donald Trump had information about it, but he blew it off too. His dumbass blew it off too. So Biden comes in, the whole election cycle comes in, and one of the biggest topics was, the coronavirus response and how we're going to get rid of COVID. But everybody in the federal government missed the point that in order to, effectively fight against the pandemic, you have to have measures to protect the people first and foremost. Y'all didn't fucking do that though. It's how long did it take us to get our first fucking stimulus check? And by that time we got it, we were hearing about other countries having monthly payments.
Yep.
So not only did they butcher the coronavirus response, they lied to the people that they butchered the coronavirus response, and they created a precedent to where people can politically disagree with a fucking pandemic. That has got to be the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. So the fact that there's an investigation, it's like y'all are full of shit.
Okay.
Ain't nothing to investigate.
100%.
Ain't nothing to fucking investigate.
Okay, there's a reason why it's happening. First of all, you're 100% correct. This is old news. Everybody knows that. So this whole news story is bullshit. The reason why he's doing this now is to save face because Rand Paul drug him through the mud during a hearing about it. And he exposed the fact that this is what I was saying earlier about we paid for it when we were talking about the PPP loans. We paid for it. He was using our tax money to fund gain of function, which is weaponizing diseases so they could find a cure for it. He was doing this. Not only that, Fauci himself he was mentioning coronavirus since 2018. And this thing didn't hit till the end of 2019 and hit us harder in 2020 in March. Not only that, for a correction, the orange guy, he wanted to close off all travel from China because when this started happening. When he did that, every single Pelosi, Schumer, all of them were calling them xenophobic racists for doing that. but he knew what was going down and he tried to stop it. They're like, no, you're being racist, but we could all. And there's even footage of that time where Pelosi's all in Chinatown saying, look, we don't have to wear masks, blah, 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 and all that. No, these people are fine. They're not bringing this over. And they're just, all this mind control shit they're putting in. Then when he backed off, it was like, all right, we'll leave it open, blah, blah, blah. Then it really hit. It became his fault. Now we're moving on to again, back to the investigation. Like I said, is because they basically exposed Fauci. And now you notice right after they exposed him, not a day later, the lockdowns are stopped. We don't need to wear masks anymore in the stores. What happened? You're a hard body on this. What happened? Because you got questioned and you could not lie your way out of it because you know you're behind it. He kept lying. He kept saying, no, we don't fund it. We don't fund it. Then Rand Paul asked him a question and he was like, well, the reason we funded that was because I was like, oh, I had to stop the video and rewind because I was like, wait, you just said you had no involvement and you did not fund it. Then when Rand Paul got in it and mentioned something specific, you said, oh, well, the reason why is because of this. And that's how we caught him in a lie. Day later, lockdown's done. You don't have to wear a mask if you don't want to. He's just saving face, and they're trying to make this slave owner look like the good guy. Mind you, he's the one that kept saying, wear the mask, wear the mask, wear the mask. Even after he got vaccinated, he's wearing the mask all day, every day, even on a Zoom call.
Go get daddy.
He's the only one on a Zoom call, like 40 people, and he's the only one with the mask on. What's that saying? He knows what this is about. He's just trying to keep us under lock and key. But now that everything's been exposed, he has to be like, oh, let's do an investigation on this. No, you know what this was about. Don't play. And we all know. Like the Chinese lady who came out she came out on Fox after that. Her Twitter was shut down. You didn't hear from that woman again. And she's the one, she blew the whistle on the whole thing months ago. And she disappeared. Where is she?
Come to think of it, I never heard from her again. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And not only, I forgot to mention that CCP, like you mentioned before, we already know about his son's laptop and stuff like that, and it exposed his dealings with Ukraine and China. So he cannot act all oblivious to, oh, China was behind this, we have to investigate. No, you already know this. This was part of the plan. Don't tell me they didn't tell you this was going to happen soon. You know how much money you get from them? They whispering in the air to this day. The CCP. And now, and I will also follow. Like, remember, I mentioned Hollywood earlier. Same thing. Everybody in Hollywood's pushing vaccine, pushing masks. Yep. And if you're an actor in Hollywood and you say something, watch you lose your check mark, your blue check mark, or not be seen in a movie again. So this is just him just saving face, yo. He's like, so for the people who don't know, could be like, oh, he's doing something about it. He's gonna be the hero of the story. Who should be the hero is that lady who disappeared.
I'm sorry.
Yo.
Ray D Wolf was spitting tonight.
Huh?
Yeah. If you go to my Instagram, I've been complaining about this since day one because it's the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. Like, there's this moment when I went to Starbucks when there was a lot during the beginning of the lockdown. So I was forced to use the drive-thru, and they want you to take your mask off while you're in your car. All right, but you can hold money that I give you. Okay, right? Money's more dirt. It's dirtier than anything, but you could take that.
It really is. It really is.
Not only what made it worse, you know what air curtains are? You usually have them in restaurants. That big that fan that like blows down so flies don't come in when you open a door.
Yeah.
And so the window had that. So nothing I breathe out is gonna hit you anyway. But you want to stay there and hide. The worst part is when I'm telling them, I'm in my car, we're talking about, you got an air curtain. What you're about to take my card and you're telling me to put my mask on to do this exchange? What's going on here? And she said, oh, I got to talk to my manager. You know those doors in the drive-thru open and close automatically? She's so shook by this. She's following the door behind as it opens and closes. That's how bad it is. Oh my God. I'm like, this is mind control, yo. This ain't even, I'm not, and when I say this, I have to keep reiterating, when I'm saying this virus is real, I'm not saying this ain't real, because I caught it, and I felt all of it. Like, there are people who are lucky who just don't feel shit. I felt everything that the worst people have complained about, I felt it. So I know this shit's real, but people need to understand that this was a weapon. This ain't no accident, no fucking lab. This is built for control. And now we're in the fallout.
That shit. I was in a hospital for like a week and shit.
It's no joke. It is no joke, yeah.
Okay. God damn, man. I'm sorry, everybody. You know, you gotta bring the whole family.
Milk.
Damn.
I'm dying over here.
That's Constance and the baby playing. Baby girl's yelling at her now.
Oh my God.
Kids aren't there, dog. Krista, you have anything to say?
No, I'm too busy laughing. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna just say this because all y'all hit the nail on the head. Is just damn, I think I lost track. It was about Biden. We were talking about Biden, right?
Yeah. Trying to investigate.
Okay, all right. My apologies, people. Yeah, no shit. I knew about even when Trump was in office and like at the earlier 2019, I already knew that, you know, this COVID thing was a problem. And this is the one thing I did agree with Trump, and I'm not the biggest Trump supporter, nor I support Trump at all, but like when he said he wanted to shut down the borders, I agreed with him because I wouldn't want that in this state either. So I don't know why people are just like, oh no, if I don't know anything about a virus and it's really fucking people up, I would close the border going to and from there. I don't understand why like people was arguing about that. I think that's like the safest thing you could do because obviously you see what has happened in this country. So the fact that I don't even know why Biden's even like spending time on this because I think most of those people that know about it know where it came from. Is like what is like, and we all know that Chinese has its secrets, but it's just like you find out and then what? and then what? It's just like, oh, you did
lock yourself up?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Lock themselves up? Yeah.
It's like I did a thing. It's just like we didn't ask for this. It's just like we didn't ask for this. It's just the fact that it took, you know, this long to like COVID's been out for like at least a year now, a year plus, and you know most people still don't know like how to fight it or you know the symptoms in it. Because when I was going through the hospital, when I was in a hospital for it, it seems like they didn't know. Like all they just said is I had COVID, but you know there was nothing special. Like they didn't give me no specifications about it, nor they didn't know. It's like there's hundreds of people that come through this hospital. Y'all don't like y'all at least pick something up, but it seems like no one knew. So
it's fun.
Well,
it's
not
funny
only
they don't
that,
know. Go ahead.
It's not only that, it's the fact that, as you know, in the Black community, anytime any person of color go to the hospital, they don't really analyze the symptoms the way that they should, and they don't really run the tests as they should. I've worked in a hospital before, and I see the major differences just based off of the race alone. So it's not that they don't know what to do. They're not doing everything that they can to help you.
You know, it's funny. It's funny you do say that because when I was in the hospital, all I wanted was some information, and it seemed like none of them knew. Yeah. And like one person told me, them. And then like, yeah, it was just like none of them knew the information. It was just like, I just want to know. It's like I'm not even asking for much, but the information. But it seems like if y'all don't know, then this is why I'm freaking out and shit. It's just like I don't know what's going on. So it's just like. At least if you tell me something, I would at least like calm down a bit. But it seems like I was left in the dark.
Right, and
it's like that, one person. I was gonna say one person told me, and I was like satisfied, and I was able to like chill for the rest of the time in the hospital. But it was just like before then, it was just like stuck in. It's like, what is going on? It's like, and mind you, I was in a room by myself, so I ain't had nobody to talk to.
Right. Right. And
So
I have four beautiful kids. So each time I've worked in the medical field for over a decade. So when I went to the hospital during those times of giving birth and stuff, let me tell you something. I had to kick out nurses out of my room. I had to ask the physician to put a specific diagnosis code that they put here, but charge my insurance a whole different insurance code. I had to follow them like through paperwork and through verbal consultation to know what they're doing and what tests they're ordering, and to force some doctors to order a test that they would order for anyone else if there was a different complexion. So when it comes to this pandemic, I see a lot of people dying not based off of the fact that they really don't know. I just don't see them doing everything that they can to treat that person.
And there is a way to fight it. They just don't say it. Remember the hydrochloroquine thing?
yeah,
When it came out, it was already well known that shit will fight a corona type virus, any type of coronavirus. That's what it was known for, and it was over the counter. When the virus came out, they didn't want to start. They started outlawing the shit. Another way is vitamin D and keeping your blood alkaline. Right? This ain't being told. How could a doctor not know that to tell you when you reach a hospital for something like this?
Well, not only that, if you take microbiology, what do they tell you the differences between bacteria and viruses? The only difference is the shell that each virus or bacteria holds. So with bacteria and virus, if you offset the balance of the pH in that virus or bacteria, guess what? It's not going to live. Just like our bodies, it has to stay within a certain pH or we're going to get really sick and possibly die.
Yeah. And they told us to do the opposite of what you needed to do to stop it. I just mentioned vitamin D, and the shit is weak against the sun, right? And speaking of sun, remember who they're pushing this shit on, right? Remember who they're pushing this shit on. Okay? Us. Now, we're the ones who absorbs the sunlight more than anyone, right? This is not racist talk here. This is just facts I'm speaking. We absorb the sun better, right? We live off of it. Even, right? And it kills the virus. What were the rules? Quarantine. They locked us inside. Why do you think Black people were dying more than anyone else? Because we're lacking the one thing that was going to keep us safe from it. Right? And guess who they're pushing the vaccine now? Because they know who has it the most.
Studies show that people of color are more likely to die from the
COVID. Shit. Right? That's all you're hearing, but you're not hearing the part where they absorb the sunlight and the sunlight's killing this shit. I had a white lady tell me that. I'm like, if she knows.
The funny thing you say about that?
Mm-hmm.
My bad. The funny thing you're saying about that is that at the beginning we wasn't catching it. It was more or less other people was catching it. And then when everybody was staying inside, that's when most people was catching it.
Yeah. Add to that the mental fuckery in your head, the stress, you're gonna succumb to it even more. Because you're quarantined, you're gonna lose your livelihood because and the checks didn't come on time, all that. That just speeds shit up.
That shit happened to me.
Yeah.
I lost my job, bro.
It cost me my job. Shit.
It cost a lot of people their jobs.
Yep.
Which I wonder how they're gonna get people back into jobs now, because if you're making as much as you did on unemployment, if you're making as more than you did on unemployment than you did working, it's like, what's the point of going back?
Did y'all see McDonald's McDonald's way to try to get people to work for their company? Yes. Someone offered an iPhone.
Free food. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Applebee's was giving people free entrees or appetizers or something like that for an interview. It's just...
That's deep.
So they playing with you.
I don't believe anything.
And these are the service people. These are service people. So and retail. So All right. Any last words before we move on to our final topic?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Crystal D. Wolf. I'm gonna ask you this. Me, Father D. I'm probably already went through this question, but it came from a post that on Instagram, and it was just like, can black men and black women have a reset button, just to start over with each other? So I want to ask you two personally, is like the state of black men and black women and how we treat each other. How do you, on the scale of 1 to 10, how do you think we treat each other?
On a scale of 2,
1 to 10.
well, I picked the number 2.
Huh.
You picked the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. What about you, D Wolf?
I'd probably say today. Huh. Oh yeah, I'll say like 2 or 3, but I think they want 10. It's not to say it's not wanted, but that's how it is. So yeah, I'd say like, I'll land on 3.
Okay.
Did you want me to elaborate,
so-
or you just want to
Yeah, I was
ask the
just about to
question?
ask. So
Yeah,
I
ladies first.
was just about to ask why 2 and D Wolf why 3, but Crystal first.
All right. Well, the reason I picked 2 is because, the black man is desirable in any era. So at the end of the day, when the black woman is not desirable and she's portrayed in media as the worst thing to date, and other cultures make money off of badgering the black woman, a lot of people would say words don't hurt, but through years of this going on, it can actually affect the mental health of a black woman if she internalizes that, or she's not strong enough, or she doesn't have the support system. So what tends to happen is she takes that hatred for herself and attacks the person that she feels should protect her against other cultures. And that can turn into an ugly war between the black man and the black woman. So also, when you hear the black woman, you hear strong black woman. It sounds natural, and that's not normal. You don't hear the strong white woman. You don't hear the strong Asian woman, because they get a chance to practice their softness, their femininity. For the black woman, she's always considered strong and she can handle anything. But when she wants to be vulnerable, she's considered weak in society's eyes. So that's another thing. So it's in each relationship, you have to know your role. If the black woman feels that she's the strong black woman and she has to handle everything, she will never know how to lead or let a man take his rightful place in a relationship. Also, when it comes to the betrayal syndrome, we also have to deal with that as well. The black man and the black woman has to deal with that and heal on their own. So I really feel the reason why we treat each other the way, not we, but a majority of black women and black men treat each other like, I would say, animals, is because they were never able to perceive themselves as king and queens and their origin and where they're from. They're constantly lost. And when they come together, they're not bouncing positive ideas off of each other. It's mostly negative ideas.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll also say, yeah,
I was gonna say D Wolf. Why would you say 3?
3 because I don't see enough of what it should be, but it does exist, and I in my mind that number comes to mind because it's not enough. But when I think about it, I think about how it all basically started, because we were like that. We wouldn't require a restart if it didn't start. Like, I want to. All right. It all started with the feminist movement, because back in the day, there was no problems between the black man and the black woman at all, or any couple. at all, any race. Then when the feminist movement came around, when they wanted after black men were allowed to vote, black women didn't care about that stuff. Women didn't care about that stuff. Now, when the feminist movement started by the CIA, they wanted more numbers. So they started to bring in the black woman. And this was a long game plan. This is how they're destroying us. This was a long game plan. So first they brought them in, and then now we're on equal grounds when it comes to policies and stuff like that. So they're saying, oh, you're a strong black woman, blah, blah, blah. You don't need him, all that stuff. You know, I am woman, hear me roar, all that shit. They started feeding our women that. When we were good. We didn't need that. Our women didn't need that. We had our shit balanced. It was fine. Now we fast forward to what that caused. So when they implemented the plan for, speaking of Biden, and when they implemented the plan where they started to, put the drugs on the street, get the fathers out the home, blah, 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 it hit us most definitely. And then the woman didn't have to look at the black man anymore like that. It's just the money. And that's what that kind of ingrained in their heads. And mind you, this trickled down to their daughters and granddaughters and so on and so forth. So now it's basically where the question is, now we need a reset. We wouldn't need a reset if all that bullshit didn't happen. So now when you think of now men who want women, they don't know what women they want because of the media and stuff like that. I was explaining earlier to Crystal, if you remember hip hop when it started off as fun. And then towards the late 80s and early 90s, it became conscious, right? And the man didn't like that. So then they introduced crime rhyme, gangster rap. And what did that lead to? Ingraining in our young men's minds that that's the way to life. That's how you proceed. That's masculinity, right? And in turn, they're all gone because they're either killed or in jail. So now the woman is married to the system. And they're married to what they see on TV. They're stuck at home alone. Now they want to do what the man's doing, this and the other, and it's their struggle. There's no man to tell, to either provide for them or uplift them themselves to be like, oh, I got you on this. Oh, we could do this together. We could grow this together. There's no man to do that. So they're there and they're independent. But any good thing, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with independence. But at this level that these feminists are pushing, they don't want no man. Now it's at a point where they don't need one. It's even now to a point, I just saw a meme. First, how'd it go? I'm an independent woman. Then it became, I don't need no man. Now it's, I am a man. Right?
I'm sorry.
So with the dudes now, with their fathers gone, and they're being raised by their women, what do they have? What their heroes on TV. So they're seeing that lifestyle, and not only that, what they see in a woman is either what the woman is doing now, their mom, or their sisters, or what the woman is doing on TV, right? And the music videos and shit like that. So what do we see? We're seeing what we want, the fake boobs and the fake shit and all that stuff, and the attitude and the ghetto-ness and shit. That's what we want now. And we're missing the prize of the women who grew up properly, who grew up with the proper family system, or at least has the wisdom, who knew to get out of that and recognize what a true king and queen status is. And we keep missing it. So when a woman, even if you're a nice guy, you don't know that's what you're missing. You're seeing what you saw and you're living that out. So, and it's hard to get back to that perfect balance, because now a guy's not getting what he wants because he knew what he grew up on. He knows what he expects. So when a woman is strong, he's seeing it as, no, you're not supposed to be strong. You're supposed to be dancing on me, do what I say, blah, 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 And for the woman, this dude's a simp.
Right.
This dude's a simp because he can't handle what she's doing, not knowing, like, no, I just want you to be strong for me or with me, lead me in the right direction. You're not doing that. You're just playing games, shit. You want to go out, this and the other, or you want me to do this, or you only want me for sex and all that. And the balance is completely gone. And it's so far and few between. That's why my number's at 3. It's so low because it's not enough of that anymore. It's been phased out. And we just it's a perfect question, because we do need a reset on this, but we just need to be educated on how this all started to push back out of it and work our way out of it.
And we got to understand, I'm sorry, we got to also understand that every woman in every culture has flaws, okay? But the ones that are magnified is the Black woman, okay? And it's because the Black man and the Black woman are used to humiliate. They make money. It's a market geared towards humiliating the Black man and the Black woman.
Mhm.
So when we do it to each other, we're also doing it subconsciously. We're doing it to ourselves on a daily basis. I think that if we can turn what media is trying to portray us as in media when it comes to Black love into something positive and ignore what media states and what other cultures state about us and uplift each other no matter what, I think we'll be fine. But for right now, I just feel like, you know, people who have a platform like Kevin Samuels is just damaging and pushing away and giving other people or other cultures a different perspective of Black women and Black men that's not realistic. For instance, he has a title. It says, "Can white women teach Black women how to get high value Black men?"
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I mean,
Mm-mm.
come on now.
Mm-mm.
Come on.
Mm-mm.
and people listen to this nigga, right? What did
This
I tell you?
Does he not know who he is? You can't say they need to find a man that he just jumped right. He skipped the man and went straight to the white woman for
Right,
advice.
so-
We're supposed to be
So-
leading them in the right direction. The men are supposed to be
Right.
leading our women in the right direction, but he skipped us and went to a white woman because
Do
of
you
what
know-
she does.
Do you know how insulting that is to a Black woman trying to listen to a Black man on something that can probably uplift her? And at one point, some lady was arguing with him, and he said, "You need to shut up. And who cares where you're getting the information from to keep a Black man? Just listen." I mean, come on now. This is the people that we're using to uplift Black women. How is this uplifting in any way, shape, or form? When the idolized beauty is a white woman. I'm not saying that she's not beautiful, but I'm just saying it would be nice for Black women to get rid of the weave, okay, and embrace their hair. Get rid of whatever society is deeming as love and get back to our roots and be vulnerable and be feminine and be soft. And it's okay to, you know, listen to a man, not a little boy, a man. And to know that you're going to be safe in his arms. We have yet, as Black women, to find men that are going to protect us in a way from everyone and not have to worry about having to portray being a white woman or any other culture to feel vulnerable or to feel exotic. We're the only women that can birth any type of color. We can birth a white child if we wanted to. We can birth an Indian child. We are the only race that can do that. That's not exotic enough in today's society. We have to do extra. And God forbid if we wear our natural hair. We're being touched by people that we don't fucking know on a train. And when we go off, we're considered an angry Black woman. These are the things.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
These are the things where Black men need to, I'm not saying that all Black men don't step up, because we do. I think Black women need to acknowledge kings when they see a king and don't put him down for the job he has or where the hell he lives. So on both sides, I just think we need to come together, but we need to stop displaying it for the world to see so that they can make money off of us. And I think that's where the damage is. When you see a white woman or a white man talk, and it's not only them, but I'm just saying, if you're dating someone because you prefer a white woman or whatever, make sure you keep race out of it and see what this person's really about. Don't say, "Oh, Black women are this," or "Black men is that." That's really encouraging these people to have the balls to talk the shit that they talk when it comes to Black men or Black women. We have to teach the world how to treat us. I always say that. It's not a game anymore.
Can you say that one more time, please?
We have to teach the world how to treat us.
You
We
hear
have
her?
to show them.
You hear
The Black
her?
men too. We need to make sure that happens because we're here to see exactly because we're here with like all these white women and shit like that. No wonder our women are wearing weaves. We need to show them like, nah, that shit's fucking beautiful. I've always been like, yo, I don't care if your shit's not, yo, I just love black hair, son. But not enough of us do that shit. It's always about the costume and what we're seeing on pushed out through the media. That's what we're fed off of, not realizing now the natural beauty is what we really want.
Look,
you were fed what you wanted. More men need to do that.
I had a man come up to me and ask me if my ass was real. I'ma just keep it real.
That
he was
not
disrespectful. And I'm like, wow. I was born with this. Not to be vulgar on here. It's disgusting. It's sad. I was born with this, but it wasn't desirable until it was put on another cultures of women.
Big fans.
Think about that.
Yeah.
My braids wasn't desirable until Kylie Jenner rocked it and made it and called it a different name. We need to stop doing that.
Don't forget them Bo Derek braids from long ago.
Bro, I had a fit about that. It's like they've been calling Bro Derek braids when everybody called them cornrows. And I was like, yo, so y'all just really just gonna just exclude
as
like
if we didn't invent the fucking hairstyle.
Yeah.
But look who
unless she was Scottish. Unless she's Scottish.
You see,
because I know they were rocking it, but you can't call it their hair. When we had it, we were rocking it as a style. That shit is ancient Scottish. We made it a trend today, and we had it since the beginning too. And then you're gonna call it Bo Derek, and not just braids or cornrows as it should be, because that's what she was doing. She wasn't looking at Scotsmen or Scotswomen back in the day with that influenced her. She saw black women with that shit, and she wanted to do that.
It's not, it's ridiculous. It's a very sensitive topic, and I could spend all night talking about it, but I'm not. It's just, things of that. Why do you think that woman was so bold enough to do that? Because she was given the okay by who? Who do you think? The black man. She was given the okay. He didn't say shit. He said, "Oh, it looks better on you than a black chick." I'm sure those words fell out of his fucking mouth.
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of guys are saying that.
I'm just saying, just teach those type of women how to treat the black woman. Just because he prefers to date a different race does not give you the right to attack the black woman and try to be her through plastic surgery. I think that's the most insulting thing that I've ever had to endure in my 34 years of living on this damn planet. It's okay to be yourself. We do it because we have interviews to go to. We want to get the job.
Yeah. Crystal, I had a second part to your question. Now, I had this theory that when it comes to femininity, most races have a different types of femininity than others. So I feel like as black women, your femininity is different from every other races of women are femininity. Would you agree or disagree to that? Because I always feel like our masculinity is different from other males' masculinity as well, and it's kind of shown. Like when you see, and I'm not saying this is better or worse, but when you see like white people, they're always like together or they're like real closer to each other's faces. Where like you see black people, we're like an arm's length from people, especially if we don't know you.
Right.
We don't like people invading our bubble, because I know there's plenty of times where like I had to tell white people to get out my bubble and all that stuff. It's just like
that tells you something.
Yeah, it does say
a lot.
So as a woman, do you feel like you're being a black woman? Do you feel like your femininity is different from other races?
I do. I just feel like it's been tainted so much that the black woman can't really identify her true femininity. When I say that, I mean, like, for instance, if we're talking about, I guess, politics, they would side, and I'm not saying all black women do this, but they would side with whoever the white woman agrees with, just to not feel outcasted because they've been outcasted enough in certain topics and things. But to be honest, I don't even think that femininity should even exist with the Black woman. I think we need to get back to square one when it comes to sisterhood. This femininity crap, this wording, it can mislead a lot of Black women into thinking that they're part of some strong woman movement that it doesn't really contribute to the uplifting of Black women. I think that we should have more of a sisterhood, and yes, it will always, once it's a sisterhood, it would always be different from other cultures because it's to embrace what we currently have and not throw it away to embrace other cultures. Hopefully I answered the question.
Yeah, it's an opinion based question. So whatever you feel, if you feel like that's correct. So
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I like
I
to
got
answer.
something to say.
Go ahead.
I got something to say. So when I notice Black men and Black women, I see two people pointing the fingers at each other instead of using that energy to fix their damn selves. And I've said this so many times. Whenever I see fucking bushhead ass niggas over here talking about how what Black women aren't doing and what Black women aren't wearing, and they comparing and shit, you come to find out most of them niggas are undesirables anyway. They wasn't raised right. They don't fucking shower. Like most of them is undesirables. And then the women, but at like to give the women some respite, I understand their position more because you know they were actually indoctrinated to believe shit that was false about them. You know, there was a lie that said that the Black women, you know, they're not as feminine as any other one. You know, they're the ones that birthed the entire races of human beings, so they are the most feminine. You know, there was a lie that says that Black women, you know, Black women are so loud and ghetto and ratchet and shit like that. And it's like, no, they're not loud and ghetto and ratchet. When you look at the fucking people that they derive from, my people, you know, we always sing and dance and we always give praise. That's how we come together. You know what I'm saying? We're a very spiritual people. So we're loud and we're boisterous praise. That's, you know, that's the nature of it. So it is the nature of the Black woman whenever she's happy to be loud and boisterous because she's giving praise. So, like, we have to get back to ourselves, as you know, Crystal said earlier. We have to get back to ourselves. But the problem is, it's very difficult to do that, especially in this society, because of hyper individualism. Oh, I got more money than you, so therefore I'm a better human being than you. You know what I'm saying? And we push that amongst people, and then we wonder why people are so fucking miserable here. Everybody that got a job is miserable. Everybody that, you know, got a car is miserable. All the things that they say makes you an adult in this society is the very thing that's making people miserable. And then when you have a people that have been disenfranchised for 400 years and have been told lies about each other and have had their cultures literally erased from their subconscious, and they go up with that generational trauma, then, you know, they're going to fight amongst each other because they have so much, they have little self-esteem. And the little self-esteem they got, I'm going to take yours. You know what I'm saying? If I see a Black woman just happy for no fucking reason, and I'm a Black man and I see my people fucking, you know, we always suffering and shit, I want some of what you got. So I'm going to take that shit by force because I don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the Black woman that sees a Black man. He working hard. He got 2 jobs. He's really trying to work. But, you know, he can't buy her a Birkin. So, you know, he's useless. It's like, no, that's not it. He's disenfranchised by a system that would rather see him dead than provide for his children. And they have constantly done that over and over and over and over again. So Black people, you know, trying to blame each other for our problems, like that's how you know this system has indoctrinated us to the point where we have become our own worst enemy. So
100%, Father, because when you think about it, if they're complaining that Black women aren't feminine, why straight up, why do they mimic them? Why do all other races of women have to mimic them then? Look at the Instagram models, son. Why do they have to have injections to match what race? What race of women?
You know, everything, because everything on this earth will eventually go back to its nature. That's what it is. If it wasn't for the Black woman laying the foundation, what example would they have?
Right.
Well, let's read what femininity is. right? It says she alternated between embracing her femininity and concealing it. What race of women ever had to conceal their femininity? And what race of women get to embrace it without judgment?
Mm.
Yeah, every other woman on this earth can just be. Well, black women, they kind of have to like humble themselves in a way.
Okay, so you
Because if
have
they
a
shine too brightly, then that's when people want to talk shit.
right. So then you have the woman, the black woman who's concealing it at some times and being vulnerable at some times. Now you want her to what? Follow? You want her to be submissive? Does that make sense? When she can't even follow her own self, she's still trying to find herself. I'm not giving an excuse. I'm just saying that I see where the problem lies, but we do need someone to lead.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Okay, final question, and this is for everybody. If we do have a reset button, where do you think we should start?
We should start with the roots.
Where we should start?
When I say we should
Yeah.
start with the roots, I mean we should start by unpacking a lot of things that was taught to us with European beauties and European standards, such as what we eat. The stuff that we eat nowadays, it's not our natural diet when we came, well, when we were stolen or taken from Africa. Our hair, what we do with our hair, it should not be half the stuff we do to our hair. It's not our natural state. And just loving each other naturally without anything that deals with anything of another culture. I think we should start from there. Embracing ourselves. If we embrace ourselves, then it's naturally okay for a Black woman to always see beauty in a Black man and vice versa. It's not no ifs, ands, or buts. We will just be instead of trying to be someone else.
Yeah, respecting each other too.
That's big.
And I'll say to add to that, yeah, education. Educate each other on where we started too. Like from a young age.
My answer, you start with the children. You start with the children. You got to build your children up to be people that you want to see enrich a society. And in order to do that, you have to literally separate from the society because it will destroy your children. It happens all the time. And people be wondering, yo, what the hell's wrong with our kids? And it's like, your kids are fucked up because y'all are fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So in order to fix that, you have to, like, whenever you have a Black son, teach them it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to traverse your emotions and to do what will benefit you and not harm somebody else. When you have a little Black girl, you can tell her your hair is beautiful, your skin is beautiful, enrich her. And, she doesn't have to go searching for that validation because she could just look within herself because you implanted that type of encouragement to her. And if we do the same thing to our sons that we do to our daughters when it comes to encouragement and it comes to telling them that you come from a rich people, you don't come from slaves, you come from a rich people. You come from a people that work through their problems and not harm people as a result, unlike another race of people. Once you start teaching them that and teach them love of self, then the nature will do its job.
100%.
It's funny because y'all was talking about hyper individuality and all that other stuff. And the first thing I would start from, we gotta be a tribe and we gotta be for each other instead of being for individuality. Because one thing I've always said the problem why I feel like the reason we have coons and people we call coons and bed wenches and all that stuff because we don't have nothing to fall back on for ourselves. Where if our people comes down, they don't have to go to the white man or anybody else to go get them what they need. We should already have that for them, so they don't have to. So I always feel like we need to be Yeah, I feel like we need to have that type of tribal thing, just like our ancestors did, because obviously individuality is really doesn't really help us, in my opinion. It seems like
Not
one
one
person
bit.
gets left back. Yeah, it seems like when one person get like left back or and all that other stuff, it doesn't really do good. It kind of makes us look bad. Where I've seen where white people, when they lose a job or something, they always say, "Hey, I got a guy that that can help you get on your feet till you get back on your feet. Just go see him." Or when other races of people they come to this country, they work at like maybe at a Chinese store and all that other stuff until they can go work somewhere else. I was like, we don't really have. I said, "There's we don't really have that in our community." I feel like
I know.
we should, yeah.
We
And
used
I
to.
think, and a lot of, and yeah, we did used to like back then, especially like during the Black Wall Street days, where we
Hmm.
had our
Hmm.
own base, we had our own businesses and all that other stuff. So, and I think a lot of y'all answers are correct too, especially like knowing your history, teaching it from teaching our children like who they are and like where do we come from. And once we learn where we come from, um, Crystal, when she said learning from the roots, and like the most important thing is like having love for ourselves and stuff. And like even like when someone doesn't feel like 100%, like be there for them to the point where they can feel better about themselves. It's
Hmm.
like we don't. It's okay to criticize, but if there's no building in the criticism, then what are
Hmm.
you really doing it for? Because I feel like a lot of our people, they're too much on the criticism and not much on the lifting or what can you do. And
Solutions.
what yeah, solution. And the one thing, and I've said this, and I like Amanda Seals, but there's one thing she always said that it kind of triggered me the wrong way is that when someone wants to learn from you, you don't have to walk them hand by hand, but you could at least point them in the right direction.
Right.
You can't just tell people to Google it, because if they're going to Google it, they like I
You're
just
wrong.
like when people Google it, it's just like they're going to Google something that's probably going to go against your point that you're trying to make. So if you would like, you don't have to walk me hand to hand, but you can say, "Hey, look up this book," and they'll tell you like everything you need to know and all that other stuff. That's giving you linful information than just saying Google it. It was like, where do I
Mhm.
want to learn about the slavery? Hey, go to this library. There's a section on just like history about our slavery. If you want to learn about Frederick Douglass, there's a website in there that's courtesy of Frederick Douglass or something like that. Like we gotta give information instead of withholding it. It's like just because like we may work at the same field doesn't mean like we gotta fight for the same spot all the time. We can maybe help each other out, give ourselves ideas to make our to make our positions even better. It's
Right.
like sometimes we are. I know, like in jobs, it's like sometimes you're in competition. It's like not all the time. It's like sometimes we just need to help each other out, and like once we help each other out, the product will be better. It's just that's so a lot of y'all have a great solutions. So, but I think it should like really start with being tribal and like just trying to help each other out. Dion, you got any opinions?
I mean, they basically said everything.
Oh my
I need you.
god.
There's nothing else I can add to that. There's nothing else to really say to that.
Dion,
Gotta,
Dion,
gotta
you are
touch
Dion
on
said,
funny as
"Yep."
everything.
shit. You are funny as
Dion,
hell.
I'm
Dion hit us
sorry.
with the yep. Any last words before we move on to our final thoughts?
The black woman
Nope.
is God.
Okay. I've been laughing this whole night. I am so sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And Umar, stop going to the casino and asking for donations. They don't look good.
Oh God,
Yo, leave my
uh,
uncle Umar alone. He trying out here.
hey man,
that
I
was
love
random.
Umar too. I love Umar too, but at
That
times
was
he
kind of
just be like,
random.
If that boy show up at a crack house asking crackheads to donate, he can do so, okay?
Oh my God. Yo.
That's my Uncle Umar.
all right, we're gonna go to our final thoughts, and we're gonna start with Crystal. You have any final thoughts?
Oh, I was thrown off. I guess my final thought is when it comes to choosing yourself over what society believes you should be, always choose self before you lose yourself. You don't want to lose yourself in this fuckery we call life and beating to someone else's drum. That's it.
D Wolf, final thoughts?
I guess I'll say we gotta stop letting them use us as a weapon for their own agendas, and like straight up just take a step back, stop adhering to, like Crystalline said earlier about I think she said it, that we tend to go to especially when it comes to women, but I think it goes for both, that we tend to lean towards what the white person is doing and saying, and we're not making that decision for ourselves. And they're using us as a weapon for every agenda that's out there, clearly. Like from the pandemic to even media, comics, everything. They're using us as a weapon. And in doing so, we're thinking we're on the right side of this, but we're missing the manipulation and how much we're losing because of it. So we just need to take a step back and straight up just educate ourselves. And yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Dion is on you.
I got nothing. What?
Okay.
It's like
you sound like you done. You sound like you ready to go to fuck the bed.
He probably is. His daughter probably worn out.
It's a little, yeah, I was about to say it's a little one, man.
Nah, it's not even that. Just, there's nothing I could say already that ain't already been touched on.
Oh my God. All right.
All right, Father is on you.
Let's see. What am I? So I don't know. Lately, I want to give a shout out to myself because I really changed my habits during this whole pandemic shit. Like at first, you can ask Ray. I was at work every day. I was always sending people money, bruh. Like every time somebody needs something, beat. And I've like taken the time to like actually just stop everything and like, get back to myself, get back to my nature. You know what I'm saying? Not having this stupid ass society dictate what I value and what I don't value and shit.
Right.
And I found liberation in that. So I want to give a shout out to myself because damn it, I'm that nigga.
All
I
right.
believe that.
All right. Props.
That was a very Ric Flair type of promo. That was just
Yo, dust off them shoulders, yo.
Take this minute to talk about myself. That's what
Woo!
shout out to Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I apologize again for laughing most of this conversation because I'm just like, y'all just be saying the wildest
Hey,
shit.
at least the laugh ain't ugly.
That's a good
It's
thing. Then.
cool. I like it. I like it when y'all laugh. So it's cool.
Okay.
What was about this? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step out of your safe space. I understand everybody has a safe space and all that other stuff, but there are times where I feel like if you really want to explore the world or you want to see something that you normally know, it's okay to go ahead and try it. Now, I'm pretty sure there are things that I know a lot of people won't try, but for if it looks curious to you, I think you should at least try it and see if you like it or not. So don't be afraid to jump out of your safe space because you may end up liking it. And also, WWE got filed for releasing Tom Phillips. I don't know who y'all going to have commentating next, but I don't.
They already found
about
this.
who.
Some dude. He was in I forgot his name, but he was in one of their events. He used
Is
to
it
do
like-
MMA and shit.
Oh, that is okay. If it's not Mauro Ronaldo, I don't want.
Morrow chilling, bro.
Yeah, Mauro chilling. But bring back Samoa Joe. But I would like to thank the panel for jumping on the. I'd like to thank the panel for jumping on the podcast once again. I would like to thank for y'all listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is You Know What? Let me just say podcast, and we signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.